What's to the pack? It is Pack here,
AKA your mama's best friend, your daddy's worst nightmare.
but we have a serious conversation to talk about today. VC prices. Look, NBA 2K23 has been a good game for me. I really like it. I think the skill gap is better than ever. I think the best team wins. It's a good game. I personally like the gameplay of it. But because there's only so many bad things to talk about, I think the really core bad issues that make 2K a bad game are being really highlighted right now, and that's the VC prices. We've been talking about this for years, but I think this is the first year that we're really stopping everything and being like, okay, why don't we really talk about this? This is really bad. There is no other company, there's no other game in the entire world that has this issue. I'm gonna break down my opinion about all of it in this video today. If you like this kind of content, please join the podcast, subscribe. I do a lot of park stuff, rating stuff, and all that kind of stuff. Now let's get the video started. And let's discuss prices. First things first. Let's say you're someone that plays 2K and you want to start playing today, right? The game's already been out for a week and a half. You want to start playing and be competitive in Park or in My Team or anything. What do you have to do? Well, first you have to buy the game that's $60, $70, or even the $100 edition, the Jordan edition, right? In the first place, you have to buy one of these copies. Once you get the game that you've already purchased, then you get a 60 overall build or a My Team team with basically no packs on it, and you have to start from scratch, right? Now, the grinder or the player in you, this is what you think, right? If you have a 60 overall build, I want to think of somebody that has no money in their account, right? $0. What do you do if you have a 60 overall player? Where do you go? If you want to get your player to a 99 overall, this is the steps you have to take. Either step number one, you have to go to My Career. You have to go to My Career and grind and grind and grind. If you play on Hall of Fame difficulty, you're going to get more VC than when you get on rookie difficulty. But here's the issue. If you play on Hall of Fame difficulty, it is very, very, very hard to score. In fact, someone who's a 97 overall player struggles to get 50 a game in Hall of Fame difficulty. Imagine what a 60 overall is going to have to deal with. So that's not an option. You have to play on either rookie or semi-pro or pro to even get any kind of badge progression and any kind of wins in order to get VC. So if you play on these difficulties, you're still only going to get like about 20 to 30 points a game at the 60 overall. You're still going to struggle a lot. And even if you do this, you're only going to get around maybe 500 VC, and on a very, very good game, maybe 1,000 VC if you really went off. Now, this is the issue. That is 473,000 VC. Okay, I just told you it costs around 1,000 VC every single My Career game, which means it would take you 473 My Career games to get a maxed out build. To put it in perspective, you can maybe do around 7 to 10 My Career games, depending on how much free time you have. We're talking about someone that has a lot of free time. That's around 10 games a day. That would take you more or less around 47 straight days of playing to get a 99 overall build. And that's assuming you get that much VC every day. So that is, again, no lifing 47 days straight. Now, assuming someone that can't no life it and only play around 2 or 3 hours a day, we're talking about someone it's going to take them a good 3-4 months to max out one build. Now, some of you think, well, that's fair, Pack. I mean, you ended up getting a 99 overall if you grind the game out every single day. I disagree with you. If it's going to take me 3 or 4 months to get a build that is good enough to compete online, while, for example, other people can get a build that's good enough to compete online after 1 day because they bought the VC, you can make the argument that NBA 2K23 is pay to win. The only way you can win is if you put in the money because you get developed a player faster than anybody else and compete. Yes, could you no life all day, every day for a month and a half and be able to have enough VC to be, competitive? Yes, you can. You absolutely can do it. It is absolutely doable if you have no life, if you don't touch grass, right? That's the issue. That's the argument that we're making. You shouldn't have to pay $100 to be competitive in a video game that you've already paid for. Now, before you think, you might be being like, well, Pack, listen, you technically do not have to spend money. And yes, you do have to grind for it, but still, by definition, you do not technically have to spend a single dollar in NBA 2K23 in order to have a competitive build. Even though you're right, Why do we settle for that? Look at FIFA. If you start pro clubs today in FIFA, you start off with an 80 overall build. You start with an 80 overall build that already comes with their badge system, which is like their attribute category stuff. It's like a badge progression. It already comes with badges, and you already start off at an 80 overall. Why can't 2K do that? If I had an 80 overall build with at least like 7 badges in every category to start, I would still be one of the better players like in my area, right? I would still have around a 75 win percentage. Obviously, I do a lot better now because my build is maxed out, but let's not act like you can't be good with an 80 overall with good badges. So that's my proposition, because this is what it does. If you make NBA 2K23 start out with an 80 overall with like the rebirth amount of badges, it's not a big deal because you can still be competitive, but there's still a little bit of a grind to get a 99 overall. So there's still something that you want to accomplish to, and you don't have to spend $1. That's fair. But what 2K does when you have a 60 overall with no badges makes it unfair. That is the main issue and gripe with NBA 2K23. Now, a lot of people were calling out other YouTubers, like my example is Joe Knows. Joe Knows made a whole video explaining this. Look, 2K is a business. I acknowledge that this is messed up and that they're doing wrong. What is me complaining online gonna really do to stop 2K, because 2K is a business? The developers aren't in charge of changing VC prices, which is who we're complaining to. It's the business, the company that is 2K. How are they going to listen to us when there's no competition? It's a monopoly. We're the ones that keep buying the VC and buying the game. Why are they gonna change? It's their job to make as much money as possible without, the community stop buying the game, right? So they're doing a good job. They're doing what they have planned every day, is to make a lot of money. So why are we complaining to YouTubers like Joe Knows and other YouTubers? Call them out on it when what are we going to do? We're not going to be able to change anything. And I technically agree, because on paper he's not wrong. By definition, he's right. I do think we can always look at Battlefront, and I think what they did, because there is no Battlefront competition. What is there another massive online Star Wars fighting game? Not really, right? Or shooting game? There isn't. And yet, the community called out Battlefront on it so hard that they were forced to change. Not only did the entire community call them out on it, but also they made news articles and it was on headlines everywhere, and forced EA to make a decision. Here's the difference. We were so mad at Battlefront for that, we stopped playing the game. I stopped playing the game. Most people stopped playing the game. With 2K, we complain about 2K, we call them out on it, but we keep playing the game. And the thing is, I can't sit here and tell you stop buying NBA 2K23 and stop playing it, because if I'm going to keep it honest with you, this year, it's a fun game. So why would I tell you that? It's a very difficult position. This is my personal opinion. Even though I think it is possible for you to grind and get a max build by just playing every single day, I think it is unfair, because there's most people that play 2K, the casual fan base, cannot play every single day like that to get that kind of money, or VC, in order to be competitive day one. So they would have to grind every single day for a month to only get one build, right? And you better hope that build is good. It's not fair. In my opinion, 2K is wrong for this. The only way they're ever going to change is if we stop buying and playing the game, which is not going to happen. I would personally call for a middle ground from 2K and ask them, listen, can you do like what FIFA does and start us off at an 80 overall, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal? But you know what? I think you and I both understand that 2K will never ever do that. So we're kind of stuck. We're in a difficult position. Whether or not 2K will change, we'll have to wait and see. I still suggest you guys call them out on it every single day, make it a big deal. And if you really want change, I suggest you just stop playing and buying the game. I agree that it's a disgrace, but what can we do about it? Let me know about your opinions in the comments below. And if you like the channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.